Yeah, I was born in New York City, Brooklyn, New York, precisely. My dad was a New York City cop, and my mom was a secretary, typed 75 words a minute, and my dad was an Irish Catholic New York City cop in the 1960s, which was a pretty exciting, storied time. The conclusion of that decade was when the big riots were going on in New York, and crime was kind of going out of control, and they moved out of New York City, and we moved out onto Long Island to Levittown, New York, which was the first real big post-war planned community suburb of New York City. We're like 30, 40 minutes out of the city. My dad commutes every day into New York City, and that's where I grew up till I'm about 10 years old, fourth grade. And my dad decided to retire from the police department as a young man, and he and my mom moved out to Phoenix, Arizona, and that's where we packed up the station wagon and the camper and all, I don't know how many, I'm the oldest of 8 children that were born to my parents. I think we probably got about 5 at the time, and we crossed the country in a station wagon, pulling a tent camper, and we take about 2-3 weeks getting to Arizona, and I pretty much lived there ever since. I did go to college in California. I went to the University of Pacific in Stockton, California, where I had made a bit of a mistake. When I was being recruited by colleges, I had a high GPA, and I was getting different scholarship opportunities from different places. I had a full scholarship from ASU and U of A, but I didn't want to stick around town. I wanted to get out of town, and I wanted to go to California, and I wanted to be near the beach. And I couldn't fathom that anywhere in California wasn't near the beach, especially a school called University of the Pacific. Turns out University of Pacific's in Stockton, California, and is precisely nowhere near the beach. And turns out I'm hours from the beach, but that's where I went to school. University of Pacific, studied computer engineering. I never thought I'd be an engineer, but in 1982 in high school, looking at my future, I thought maybe this computer thing was gonna be big. Maybe this Bill Gates guy who nobody'd heard of at the point, maybe he was onto something. Maybe this might be something. And I thought, that's where I'm going. I'm gonna stake my claim in the computer world. I always knew I would sell, not engineer. And that's what I did. After college, I went out and sold IT systems for about 25 years. I was in the IT industry, sold IBM computers, mainframes, then mini computers, then microcomputers, and then of course, kind of got out of the computer deal when it went networking, and then I was in the network infrastructure business from, the early 90s all the way to the 2000s. And then actually right before that, I started a .com. Partner and I built a global telecom company with a PowerPoint slide presentation. He had been a contract engineer for Intel, and he had been hired to build out a global video conferencing system over IP, and was able to set up endless amounts of voice, video, and data conversations over IP for zero cost, which at the time, an AT&T conversation between you and your girlfriend for 20-30 minutes would result in a $150 bill. After a month of Marsha and I courting each other long distance, I think each of us had a $900 long distance bill. That would have been in 1984 when I'm in college. So long distance, a big thing. And somehow this engineer keeps telling me, yeah, no, we can talk endlessly all we want. Only thing is we also get video and data. So that means we can see each other, and I can show you my presentation or my spreadsheet, and we can work on it together. We can collaborate from any 2 places on the globe, don't have to be in the same room. And because it's over IP, the only cost is the internet connection, which you've already paid for. And so we can have all these meetings and conversations and collaboration sessions globally with unlimited number of people for absolutely zero cost. And he was telling me about an idea he had where we could turn that into basically a phone system for everybody in the world, where they could talk to anybody they want, anytime they want, at zero cost. And we started a company called visittalk.com. Visit talking, visual talking. And that was my .com experience in the late 90s and the early 2000s. And had a hell of a ride. We turned a PowerPoint presentation into a company with over 1 million customers. They were all talking, Japan to US and all over the world, zero cost, thing worked, video, set up a video conferencing room, and 10 minutes later somebody showed up naked. Turns out that's what people wanted to do with a video conferencing room, was show up naked. And we had to figure out a solution for that, moderators, and keep all that from going on and hurting kids. We figured that out. Raised about $40-50 million in venture capital. We were working with Goldman Sachs to go public. I was flying all over the world, meeting with billionaire investors and showing them this wave of the future, .com, and they were all wanting to put the next 40-50 million in, and we were just on the verge of getting that all signed up and done, and then launching a public IPO offering, which would have been in the summer of 2000. And then of course in the late spring, late April, early May is when the whole .com internet thing hit its first cardiac arrest, and stocks went down. And then over the next course of the next year, the internet.com boom was over. China melted down to zero, and everybody had to go back to their real job. Everybody but Jeffrey Bezos and Mark Cuban. Jeffrey Bezos had just gone public and raised tens of millions of dollars, and he just sat on it, didn't spend it, and kept it in the war chest till things got turned around, and continued to build Amazon, which was going to be the bookseller of the future. Turns out they added a couple, 3 other products to that whole book thing. Mark Cuban sold broadcast.com to Yahoo for about $6 billion, him and his partner Todd Wagner, about 15 minutes before the internet China melted, before the bubble burst. And he got out of there with $1 billion or $2 billion, something like that, and started a little deal called Shark Tank, and bought a basketball team, and he was one of the handful of guys who got out of that .com thing with some actual dough. And the rest of us went back to work at our real job, which is what I did. I went back to selling IT infrastructure. And pretty much just kind of did that till I saw these solar systems flying up on roofs, going, what in the hell? Kind of a strange phenomena for me, because I got myself through college being a telemarketer. I've been a telemarketer since I was 12 years old. My mom had a job at the Disabled American Veterans, calling folks and seeing if they'd put out their used items. It's for a thrift store pickup to benefit the Disabled American Veterans. And I'm listening to her. I'm like, man, I think I can do that. Can I try? Can I try? Can I try? Can I try it? She goes, okay, you can try it. She lets me try it. Look at that, Northwest Alano Club. I didn't know that. We're in Tucson, Arizona. And I just found the Alano Club. You folks who are sober 12-step people, you'll know what an Alano Club. We just passed it. Now I know where it is. So yeah, my mom says, go ahead, give it a try. And turns out I'm kind of good at it. I like doing it. And we're just going down the sheet, and I'm doing the pitch. I'm doing the close. I'm getting them to pop. My mom's a good salesperson. She's able to do it as well. I just do what she did. It works. Boom, 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 pop, pop, pop. Paid me 25 cents every single time somebody said yes. Man, that was a Space Invader game down at the local arcade. Man, there was nothing more valuable in my world than a quarter that could be converted and turned into a Space Invader game. Later on, of course, I found out she got paid $2 every time somebody said yes. I learned a very good lesson in being an entrepreneur and how capitalism works. You get money from someone, you get someone else to do it, and you give them a little less than you're getting paid, and the difference is the margin. I learned out at that day the difference between what you're paid and what you're worth is a company's profit. That's how it works. And that's how I got my real first gig. That's how I found what I actually am and what I do. I'm a salesman. Really what I am is a high price setter. I set appointments. And that's what I was doing, setting appointments with folks to have a thrift store truck come by and pick up their used stuff, and that was going to benefit our men and women who had served in the military, and people got a tax deduction, the people at the thrift store got a job, and the veterans got money, and it was just a good deal for everybody. We're talking a win-win-win, just an awesome deal. Now what I found out later was, after getting my first real job, which was selling tickets to the policeman's ball for the Phoenix Law Enforcement Association and the Arizona Police League, which was if I sat down and sold tickets to the policeman's ball for 20 bucks a piece, I could make about 20 bucks an hour, 5 bucks an hour on hourly wage, and another 10, 15 bucks in commission. And you know, everyone I know is working for 3 to 5 bucks an hour in construction out in the Arizona heat. I'm sitting in the air conditioning. I'm sitting in a telephone room, and I'm just having, I'm working about 1 hour a day. Now I got a 4-hour shift. In 1 hour, I can make enough cold calls to get 4 or 5 families to say, yeah, we'll buy a ticket to the policeman's balls. We'll support our guys in blue. We can count on your support again, Mr. Johnson, this year, can't we? Can we upgrade you this year from the couples ticket to the family tickets, only $25? Of course, we'll throw in that bumper sticker for free. You know, let the boys in blue know you support them. They appreciate that. We'll get that bumper sticker out to you right away. We'd love to have you proudly display that on the bumper. So you know the boys in blue in the squad car, they'll know you're one of the folks that support them. Who knows how that could benefit you? And I'm making 20 bucks an hour, and that works out. I'm loving it. I work 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I got the weekends off. That was opposed to my first pizza job where I worked Friday and Saturday night, 8 hours a day. A month later, they hand me a check for $87 because I'm on minimum wage, $3.25 at the time. And I'm going, this sucks, man. This sucks. I'm working every Friday, Saturday night. I'm washing dishes. I'm supposed to be getting paid more, but there's no tips in this pizza parlor. So I'm just getting the minimum. And I found out this telemarketing gig. Later on, I found out if I were to work for a home improvement company selling insulated windows, my first home improvement gig, or aluminum siding, my second home improvement gig, or 12-foot satellite dishes that could get you the Johnny Carson show direct from LA with no commercials. Any one of those home improvements, and I was setting appointments for salesmen, and they got in the door and made a pitch, and I got to sit. I'm getting paid $100, $200 a sit. They didn't have to sell it. If they sold it, I get another 25 bucks, a little bit of a kicker. And I learned a valuable lesson. When you're setting an appointment for a high price ticket for a great closer to get into a sales presentation, you make a lot more money than you do when you're selling $20 tickets to the policeman's ball. And that's how I became MOD, high-priced appointment setter. That's what I do for a living. Of course, now I not only set, I also close. That was part of that gig. After I'd been setting for a few months and got promoted to the assistant manager, my job was to take all the appointments and confirm them and get the salesman into the house. Man, they had an idea in their head. I wish I could duplicate it. And that was, they had 12 salesmen, and the telemarketing's job was to get those 12 salesmen into an appointment 3 times a day. Hell or high water, didn't matter how you did it. Take all the appointments and all the no-shows and all the people who canceled, and that was your ammunition to find a way to get them 12 guys into an appointment at noon or 2, and then again at 5, and then again at 7 o'clock, 7:30 at night. And that was my job. And then somehow one day I got it in my head, I was going to sit down in the back of the conference room where the owner of the company was putting on a little show. He'd been a tin man for like 25 years selling aluminum siding. Somehow he got it in his head to try this newfangled solar thing. Of course, that wasn't solar electric. That was solar water heaters. Jimmy Carter had just gotten done being president, and he came up with this idea that the world needed to convert to solar energy and that we should use a government incentive to do that. They had a 50% solar tax credit. 50%. You buy an $8,000 water heater and the government gives you $4,000. I'm in California, and the state of California gives you another 25%, another $2,000. You had an $8,000 water and $6,000 in cash. This $2,000 of your cost turns into a $99 payment for 2 years or something like that. No interest, no payments for 90 days. And I sit and I listen to this pitch, and this guy was a old tin man from way back, started selling solar. He's telling us how to get in the door, how to knock a door, how to set an appointment at the door. Once you're in the door, you need to know one damn thing. You got to get to the kitchen table. And if they don't want to sit, you got to take charge, make that appointment happen, make that meeting happen, get to the kitchen table. And once you're at the kitchen table, you need to know one thing. You are never, ever, ever getting back to the kitchen table with this family ever again. And if you're going to help them get the value of this product, which I believe you believe, you're about to make them believe is very valuable, you're going to have to help them make a decision, because what's going to happen almost every single solitary time is they're going to get to the end of this presentation and they're going to see the benefits. They're going to see how valuable this is. They're going to want that on their house. They're going to want that $4,000 from the government. They're going to want that $2,000 from the state of California. They're going to want that newfangled thing that's kind of energized by the sun. But there's going to be one other catch, and here's the catch almost every single time. They're going to want that. They're going to want to buy it. They're going to want to have it. But they're going to want to sign for it on a different day than today. And he said, don't worry about that. He said, we've been doing this a long time. Nobody wants to buy aluminum siding the same day. They want it. They want their house to look better. They want it to be worth more. They want it because it's only going to be a little bit of a payment every month. They want to never paint their house again. They want all that. The trick is they want to sign for it on a day that's different than today. Any other day will do as long as it's not today. And thereby, you and them are going to come to this crossroads of whether you will or won't be able to be of service to them. You will or won't be able to get your job done. You will or won't make money today because you're on straight commission. And this family will or won't get the benefits of this product, all based on whether or not you believe in one thing. There are no be-backs. There's never going to be another meeting. Nobody ever calls the aluminum siding salesman back. Nobody ever calls the solar system guy back. And the reason is because they don't need solar. They don't need aluminum siding. They already got a house that's painted. They already got electricity. They can already afford it. They already got hot water. Why do I need your stuff? I don't need it. They want it, but they don't need it. So they ain't calling you back. If we don't get them help now, you're never going to help them. So guys, this is what we do. Here's the deal. Here's the song. Here's the dance. You're going to pull out your 3-ring binder. You're going to get to the page where it says we want to think about it. You're going to do the A, B, C, D. You're going to do the E, F, G. And then you're going to lay on them the X, Y, Z. And then you're going to ask them, can we move forward with this today? Is there any reason why we wouldn't? Does this seem like a good idea? And they're going to go, why, yes, it does. A miracle's just happened. They've just gone from, we don't make a decision in one day. We've just gone from needing to talk to our accountant. We've just gone from needing to talk to our Uncle Bill to, yeah, let's get that paperwork done. Let's get this process started. Let's get this show on the road. And that's because those tin men knew how to do a number of things, but the most important thing they knew was how to close a sale. And that's what you need to know how to do. And that's what I know how to do, and that's what I do. I'm out closing solar deals every day and teaching other folks how to do that. And that was the genesis of figuring out the MOD, Sales Academy. And I'm here to tell you, if you do what I do, you'll end up like me. And I got to tell you, it ain't a bad thing living in a van down by the river. All this could be yours. You could be sleeping in a van down by the river like MOD, motivational speaker. Stick with me, boys, and we'll get you plugged in. We might even get you enough money to get plugged in to that RV park, so we get you electric and water, and man, we might even get some cable TV here in our van down by the river. Ain't a better way to go. I got a nephew named Jacob Levin.
Yes, this is him.
Any relation?
No, not really.
Are you sure? Are
I'm
you
just kidding.
are you related to Jacob Levin?
Maybe a little bit.
Well, hey, listen, I'm rolling through the neighborhood in my in my van. Where are you guys at?
We're parked, but we're about to head out of here and try to switch over hoods because it's pretty shitty.
Okay, yeah, this neighborhood doesn't look like it's got a bunch of people who want to spend a bunch of money.
Yeah.
I see some places where my van would just fit in right nicely as an additional bedroom. Okay, so give me a pin. Give me a pin where you're at. I'm around the corner. I'll pull up behind you, and we'll go find a better spot.
I sent you my current location. We're at the same place.
Okay. All right, I'll be there in 3 minutes.
Okay.
Hang out 3 minutes. I'll see you in a little bit, nephew.
Sounds good.
All right.
Uncle. All right.
Bye. Got a 25-foot U-turn going on here. Can I make it? Oops, nope. I tell you, my van down by the river is awesome at all kinds of things, but one of them ain't trying to do a U-turn. This thing's got like a 70-foot turning radius. Oh, that was nice of them. They decided not to crash into us and let us do a 3-point turn in the middle of the intersection. All right.
So now just explain where we're driving, what we're about to do today. Story time.
All right. So we're in the MOD Mobile Command Unit. We're in the MOD Mobile Sales Office. We're in the MOD knocking on doors with your living room, refrigerator, shower, wardrobe, food, water. We got everything we need right on our back. We're like a little turtle coming through. We don't need to stop. We don't need a bathroom. We don't need a place to sleep. And what we're working is the TEP deadline. Tucson Electric Power has decided that while they just got an increase of 20% and charging 20 cents for a commodity known as a kWh, kilowatt hour, at that very same moment, they've made an argument to the state of Arizona, Arizona Corporation Commission, that exact same product could somehow be worth 20 cents coming into a meter and is currently worth only 7 cents coming out of the meter. Now, I don't understand that, but I ain't bitching about it. What I am bitching about is they think that should be dropped to 3 cents a kilowatt hour. That's a preposterous, absurd thing. We've got a body whose job it is to set the pricing on a product that's sold by a monopoly. When something's sold by a monopoly, market forces don't work, so they come up with a regulatory body to set the price. And somehow these guys have decided that this monopoly should get paid 20 cents and going up into on-peak hours 30 cents. On 4:30 in the afternoon, they're getting 30 cents for this commodity and they want to take it from their customer, pay them 3, sell it to the next door neighbor and make 10x profit. I got a problem with that, but I also got another problem. There's only 10 days to the deadline. Oh, I'm sorry, 14 days to the deadline, and these Tucson folks are going to lose the 7 cents. If we can get to them and get them signed up, they'll be grandfathered into that 7 cents. That's why we're out here. That's why we're mobilized. That's why I got a mobile command center. We got to use all 14 days, 14 hours a day of those days so that we can get to as many of those folks, get them in the boat, get them signed up for solar with a price that's crappy but not disgustingly low. And that's the nature of this deadline. If you sign up now, you're going to get a good wholesale price for all of the production that you make that you don't use and send to the grid. If you don't do that in the next 14 days, basically you're just doomed. Basically you're just screwed. So we're helping as many folks as we can, and we got to jump out of this van and go get some folks helped out and get them across the finish line before the deadline. If you see singles in carports, you're in the wrong neighborhood. Why? That's a 1,200 square foot house. It might still have an evaporative cooler on it.
What about something like over here? Like right here?
Where?
Should be close. Like this area.
That's good. Bigger flat roofs. Put a pin on it. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll send it to you right now.
Let's go.
We'll meet there.
I'll follow you there. I'll follow you there. Ronnie, what part of the valley did you grow up in?
I grew up in Maryville.
Maryville.
Like 59th and Indians.
Me too. 59th and Indian School. Me too. What's at 59th and Indian School?
Right now, you got GCU Golf Course, Maryville Golf Course, Maryville High School.
Maryvale Golf Course, 59th Avenue and Indian School. Of course, when I was hanging out there, it was across the street from the Village Inn Pizza Parlor, VI. That's where we'd go after the football games. The Maryvale Golf Course is where I had my first beer. Swear to God. Had my first beer and threw up for the first time from drinking beer. I'm pretty sure I lost my virginity in that golf course as well. The only thing I didn't do on that golf course, it was across the street from where I grew up. The only thing I did not do on that golf course was play golf. I don't know why, but the whole time I grew up across the street from a golf course, I thought you needed to have like some sort of secret handshake or know somebody that knew somebody to play golf. It was like some magical thing, like someone had to show you how to do it. Plus you'd have to have golf clubs, and I didn't have golf clubs. So yeah, we did pretty much everything imaginable in that golf course except play golf. Huh?
There's no places to.
Uh-huh.
There's this cookie cutter home.
Hold on.
You want more cookie cutter or like far apart area?
How about these? All right. We're going to go sell this guy solar. Oops.
Yeah,
And my little trip. All right, so there's oceans and oceans and oceans of this, which are acreage with a flat roof home, and all of these homes have $600, $700 bills.
yeah.
And none of them, I mean, like you see a solar every once in a while.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was my area a while ago, actually. This is where I first started.
my location,
So
dropped pin.
This area, right?
I'm gonna send you the pin and then let's go.
Good point with this guy. Perfect.
Jacob Levin.
Awesome.
All right,
Sorry.
good, let's go. So one of the bad things about driving around in an RV is that people have been in traffic with RV, and usually where they have had experiences being in traffic with an RV is stuck behind them on a hill out on the highway going up to whatever mountain. Here it's Flagstaff, to go skiing, to go whatever, fishing at Lake Mary. And so they've been behind an RV, and here's their reaction. They see an RV and they go, holy shit, there's an RV going. I gotta hurry the hell up to get out in front of that damn thing, because I do not want to end up behind it. Now, that's not a thing in city traffic, but you really have to pay attention because that is people's instinct. I gotta get out in front, and they'll just jump right out in front of you because they're afraid of getting stuck. Yeah, so 59th and Indian School, when you go south of there, half mile, you get to Maryvale. You go north of there a mile, and you get to where I grew up, which was the half-mile street between Indian School and Camelback, which is called Campbell. And then we lived on the quarter-mile street, just a tiny bit north of there, called Highland, which is where our grammar schools were and middle schools were. And that whole development was built by John F. Long. He built this post-war planned community, have a hospital and a mall and parks and all that stuff. Maryvale Park, da-da-da-da-da. The funny part about that was it was a planned community, inexpensive or value, low-cost homes built, high value, low cost. What's that?
Do you want to like pull forward and just get it more off the road so you're not so close to it?
Yeah, this is the spot. I'll park and then we'll go hit that house. Perfect. Okay. Maryvale Hospital, Maryvale Library, Maryvale Pool, Maryvale, everything, little planned community. The town I grew up in, New York, on Long Island, was called Levittown. And Levitt was just like, just almost the same kind of guy as John F. Long. He built the same type of post-war baby boom, very nice, but cookie cutter. They was like the beginning of the suburbs. And when you see documentaries on post-war planned community suburbs, you'll see those two communities highlighted. And I happen to have lived in both of them. But yeah, I went to Maryvale High School and spent 4 years there and managed to get out of there alive and then get off to college. All right, let's go knock this door.